Good morning, internet. Today you join me on another sunny but rather wet morning. I was actually going to sit down and have a little bit of a talk with you on the bench back there, but yeah, that's not going to happen today. Anyway, so back down south again today. Bit of a short one, this one though, because I'm actually going back up north again in a few hours. I had such a nice time out and about in North Yorkshire. So I did say that the last episode would contain details about my fasting and about my diet routine, but due to the last minute short notice of our friend making a visit from Australia, yeah, that one had to take precedence. So today I am going to do exactly that. I'm going to have a little bit of a chat about the keto diet and my fasting routine. Yeah, and just give you some details about what I do, or the principles that I follow with my dietary needs alongside the exercise to try and lose the weight that I've been losing. Don't know if you can see, by the way, as well, but that is the flattest my belly has been in quite some years. I can't tell you how pleased I am with the results now. I mean, this jacket was really quite tight and snug before, so yeah. Anyway, it's going really well. I'm looking forward to Saturday and doing the weigh-in again. So if you are new to keto, it can be quite a minefield. There's so much information and data out there and theories and stuff about what to eat and about the policies behind it, and you know, the whole shebang. There is a lot to it, and you can get really deep into it, to the point you get quite swamped. That's what I found anyway when I first started doing keto. Fortunately, I found a couple of sources of information that were really good at explaining in detail and breaking down and simplifying the logic behind it, to the point that I'm going to show you 5 basic steps that I follow when I came across this simplified version on how to get started, at least anyway. It was really good for me, and just helped me understand a bit more about what to do and where to approach this. So yeah, I'm going to share these 5 steps with you today. So before we get to these 5 simple steps, first we need to understand what our key goal is and why we're doing this. So really the goal of a ketogenic plan is to reduce insulin, levels to as low as possible. Yeah, so when your insulin levels are as low as possible, you have maximum fat burning, you have a maximum state of ketosis. And of course, ketosis is the state of producing ketones, and ketones are the product of fat burning. So the more ketones you generate, the more fat you burn, which is our ultimate goal here, is to be burning fats and not sugars, and to be burning fats as efficiently as we possibly can. And in my experience so far, keto has definitely been the most efficient way of doing it. So the first simple step is simply consume your salad first. Now this may sound quite obvious or quite simple, but it makes a huge difference. In your diet, obviously you're going to be counting carbs, because we're on a low carb diet. Now, what better than counting your carbs than eating carbs that you don't really have to eat at all? And by this I mean leafy greens, leafy salads, leafy vegetables. I don't know if you realize, but when you eat, every single time you eat something, you trigger an insulin response. Now we're obviously trying to reduce insulin levels by eating greens and your salad and your leafy greens and leafy vegetables. Those carbs have such a low trigger effect. They don't even really register an insulin response at all. Yeah, it has such a low insulin response because it's fiber, and fiber is the only carbohydrate that doesn't have an effect. It doesn't create an insulin response. Yes, it doesn't directly affect insulin. And as I said, every time you eat, you trigger an insulin response. So the more often you eat, the more you trigger insulin, and the worse the situation gets. So we actually want to reduce our insulin levels by eating the right things to trigger as little an insulin response as possible. And we'll talk a little bit more about this in a minute, but obviously we're going to do this alongside intermittent fasting, and you want to be able to go longer without feeling hungry. So eating leafy greens is so good for you. You should actually consume a large quantity of leafy greens. I haven't quite got up there myself at the moment. The information that I've seen and research that I've found seems to suggest somewhere between 7 to 10 cupfuls of salad or greens every time you eat. Now I probably average about 5 cupfuls, I think, of salad. I find a lot of salad hard to get through, I must be honest. That's just me. But I have also seen a tip to say cut your salad down really small, because it helps you get through it, which I've done, and yeah, it does help me consume more salad. And then all I do is I cover it in olive oil, which is really good for your body and helping break down with the digestion. And also I tend to put some lemon on it, or a vinaigrette or something. And of course that's only the first part of why you should be eating your lots of leafy greens, and why you should be eating it first. So not only is it good for low levels of insulin, but also it's replacing a lot of nutrients in your body. When you do intermittent fasting, and you will start losing levels of magnesium and potassium and calcium, etc., and sea salt. Now on the when you eat these large quantities of salad and leafy greens, they replace this potassium and magnesium that you really need. Now I myself, I am actually taking a electrolyte replacement tablet. I take one a day. It just helps top up the magnesium and potassium and etc., but only because I've been fasting quite strongly in my diet regime, and it's a big change for my body, and I wanted to make sure that my body's still getting all the nutrients that it needs, and I'm probably not quite there consuming enough of the salad and leafy greens as I need to do it. So yeah, I actually use a tablet as well. But again, that's just my personal choice. I was just listening to my body and feeling, and there was times where I was low on energy, or and I just felt that I needed, and I was low on electrolytes, so that's what I do. So yeah, as I said at the start, eat your salads first. That's my principle. Not only because I've researched and I've seen that these 5 simple steps are good steps, but also, like I said, I struggle to eat a lot of salad. If I ate the protein first, then I would really struggle with the salad. I know I wouldn't be eating enough, so I eat enough. I eat as much leafy salad and greens as I can first, to get that inside me and to get those nutrients, and then I eat my protein afterwards. So yeah, first tip, eat your greens first. Now step number 2 is simply about protein. Now the amount of protein that each body or each individual requires greatly varies depending on the size of the individual, the age of the person, their metabolism. But the general rule of thumb I've found is that each meal, the protein should be around the size of the palm of your hand. For a bigger person or a younger, healthier person with a higher metabolism, you'd maybe eat a little bit more. If you're older, maybe or a smaller individual, or had a slower metabolism, then you would eat a little bit less than that. But yeah, about the size of a palm of your hand is a rough ballpark figure. Yeah, and if you overeat the protein, you could feel a bit sluggish, and this could maybe even slow down the keto process. But if you undereat, you could find that you are feeling quite tired, because your body does need a certain amount of protein to be able to function properly. So what types of protein? Well, surprisingly high in fat. I mean, hamburgers actually become quite highly recommended, but not the not sort of cheap hamburgers, supermarket brand hamburgers. You know, it's not going to have the desired effect, but some decent quality mince that's high in fat. Don't make the mistake of doing low fat protein, because that's not going to help. You want, especially in the beginning stage as well, when you're building up the fat levels, you want high fat content protein. Like I said, a good quality mince. I get a lot of my, or most of my meats from a butcher's now, and my greens from a grocer's as well, rather than supermarkets, just because of the quality difference. But yeah. Or if you like fish, go for the high fat content ones again. You know, like salmon. Salmon is a really good high fat content one. Chicken. If you're going to eat chicken, don't just eat the breast, or don't eat the breast. Go for the areas that have got the fat and the skin on them, the legs and the wings and the thighs. You know, it's got the really good high fat content. So why is it that we're not eating low in fat protein? Because if it's low in fat, it will stimulate insulin, and that's not what we want. Now this brings me on to tip 3, fat. Now this is something that I realized recently I had been making a mistake with. As a beginner, it's really important that you raise your intake of fat levels. So alongside your meals, you need to eat additional things just to top up your fats. So for example, I used nuts, especially pecan nuts, at the end of a meal. I would have olives in my salad, lashings of olive oil on my salads, which also helped me consume that amount of salad, and also helped with the digestion and breaking down. So the first concern I had with this was, I'm adding fats at the beginning of my weight loss journey. You know, is this the right thing that I should be doing? Why am I doing this? Well, the simple answer is you're doing this because you want to be able to sustain the period of time, lengthen the period of time that you can go without eating. And as I said in previous videos, you know, I wanted to switch from burning sugars over to burning fats. And fats, you have far more calories in the body to be able to do this. And if my body is burning fat, and I'm eating the right level of it, then I can go longer between meals. So I can fast for longer, which will then help me lose more weight. So basically, yeah, the building up of fats is to run alongside with the intermittent fasting. To be successful with the weight loss with this plan, with doing keto, it is important that you do intermittent fasting with it. It's key, it's vital. Otherwise you won't get the results that you're looking for. Keto is measured on a scale of 1 to 7, I believe. If you do keto without the intermittent fasting, you might score somewhere between 1 up to potentially 3 at best. If you do regular intermittent fasting with the same plan, then you'll be doing the 4s, 5s and 6s quite easily with a decent intermittent fasting plan. And the higher the number that you're scoring on the keto scale, the more efficient and higher that your fat burning is. Morning.
Hi. Have a lovely day.
You too. To really lose fat from your belly in a short space of time, you need to be eating less frequently. But in order to eat less frequently, you need to be hungry less frequently. Otherwise, you're just fighting starvation. And let's not confuse starvation and fasting. They're two totally different things. Starving is when your body's not getting any nutrients or any energy. Fasting is just eating the right food, stretching out how long you can go without eating, so that you're not hungry, so that you're able to fast to answer my own question from the beginning, the whole point of adding fats at the start is to enable myself to go longer without eating, and then once I can go longer without eating, without becoming hungry, then I can begin my intermittent fasting. So however you decide to start your intermittent fasting is up to you. I can tell you what I did, and what a lot of people may do, is the first thing they'll do is cut out breakfast. So for those that are maybe eating 3 meals a day without snacks, if you're eating 3 meals a day, the first meal I cut out was breakfast. That meant that I now went from 6 o'clock in the evening right through until midday when I had lunch without eating. And then the next stage, once my body was used to that, was the time between lunch and between dinner. I would reduce until I had a small time of a small window basically of eating, until eventually you get to what they call OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. OMAD, OMAD, 1 meal a day. And if you can get to 1 meal a day, then you've obviously got this greater period of intermittent fasting. Now, you might not be sure or question or wonder, well, how long do I have to add these extra fats for? How long do I go before I start my intermittent fasting? If you add the right amount of fats in the early stages, you will notice within days of starting, just days of starting, that you can go longer without eating. Which then brings us to another really important point. When I first heard this, I thought the same as everybody else. Well, what a silly statement to make. Of course. And that is, only eat when you're hungry. Not when your brain tells you to eat, not when you feel like I should be eating, because I always eat at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, or I always have breakfast at 9 o'clock in the morning. Listen to your body now. As you can go longer without eating, really listen to your body and let it tell you that you're hungry. I was amazed, like within less than 2 weeks, I was like ready to do like 36-hour fasts, because and I was shocked to find I would come off of one, thinking, oh, I'm going to be starving, I can't wait to eat, and I'd be like, no, not quite ready yet. My stomach was only just starting to say, yeah, I'm getting a little bit hungry now. There was no real strong hunger pains. I wasn't getting lightheaded. I wasn't feeling weak or anything. I was just still burning and consuming the fat calories. Honestly, if you do this, you'll be amazed how quickly you notice how long you can go without eating. And it doesn't feel like you're starving. It just feels weird, because I still cook for the family. My wife hasn't eaten 1 meal a day for years. I always used to moan at her because I didn't think it was a healthy thing to do. Turns out it's really healthy. But yeah, I still cook my wife's dinner, and my son's and my mother's. And it doesn't bother me cooking food even while fasting, because I'm not hungry at that point. And I could eat something. I could quite easily pick something up, especially when I'm baking for everybody. But no sugars on my diet, so I can't. But that's just a natural reaction. That's just me going, I remember what chocolate tastes like, or I remember what all those calories or what those sugars taste like. Or my body's still going, yeah, it's a little bit weird. We'd normally be eating now. But push past that. You'll be surprised how quick. So, step 4, nutrients. Sorry, I love pistachio nuts. So step 4, nutrients. As I said, I've already started taking some supplements, some electrolyte supplements alongside my diet, just to make sure I am getting them. It's really important that you replace these nutrients, because not only are you putting less nutrients inside your body now, but you've greatly increased the rate at which you're using them up. So yeah, must make sure that those are replaced. B vitamins, electrolytes, and sea salt. Those three things are all really important. The electrolytes, as I said, you get the potassium and the magnesium in your leafy greens and stuff, but I take top up with an electrolyte supplement tablet. I add additional sea salt into my diet because you're losing a lot of salt while you're fasting. And the B vitamins as well, need to make sure that you're replacing those. If you do feel weak while you're fasting, try adding some additional sea salt to your diet yourself, because it's likely that that's actually what you're lacking. But hopefully the adding the salad at the start of your meal, a good sized salad, should help replace enough of the potassium and magnesium, etc. that you need. It just depends how much you can, eat of the salad. Like I said, I'm only about 5 cups a day. It's recommended 7 to 10 cups a meal, rather. So I'm not quite there yet, which is why I'm taking the supplements. If I get to a point where I can eat 10 cups of salad a day, I'm pretty sure I won't need them. So step 5, feel satisfied with what you did. As I said in another video recently, you have to want to change, but you don't have to change everything. You don't have to lose everything that you enjoy. Just adapt to it. There are naturally some things you're just going to really miss. As I said before, I didn't have a big sweet tooth, so cutting sugars out of my diet was never an issue. But some people, a lot of people, they really find things like desserts or chocolate being something that they really miss. Well, the good news is there is actually low carb chocolate out there that you can get. You just have to be sensible about how often you eat it. But it just means you don't have to always cut chocolates out of your diet. There are also many keto recipes out there for desserts as well, so that you can still have a nice treat or a nice dessert at the end of the meal, and feel satisfied about it. Don't make the mistake that we've all made on lots of diets where we just cut everything out that we absolutely like. I mean, I've cut a lot of things out of my life. I have cut sugars out completely. I've cut pastry and bread out of my diet completely because they really were my Achilles heels. My God. Greg's pastries and mayonnaise sandwiches, you have no idea. So I have cut those things out, and I would like the odd treat every now and again, but I'm still feeling satisfied. I'm still eating good food. In fact, I'm eating better food than I've ever eaten. And I can have a dessert if I want to, or I can have a bit of a treat, and it doesn't feel like I'm cheating. It doesn't, and I don't feel like I'm missing out. I don't feel like I miss anything. And that's important. It's important that you find that balance. So yes, that is the 5 simple steps that I've taken away from the information that I've researched and that I use as my simple guidelines at the moment to help me lose weight on this journey. I'm not a dietitian. I have no medical experience. I'm researching in books, I'm researching online to try and find out as much about dieting and fasting and keto and all these basic theories that I'm using and wanting to try right now. They're not a recommendation, they're just a record of my journey in losing this weight and how I've gone about doing it.
Hello there.
If it helps anybody, then great. If it doesn't, then unfortunately it's not for you. But like I say, this is just my journey and the information that I use. So, well, I think I'm going to wrap this one up there. It's just a short video today, just to share those few points that I think have been really helpful for me in losing my weight, and I just thought that maybe it might be helpful for some of you guys too. I have to keep it short and sweet today because in a few hours I'm heading back up north again, filming the next video. I enjoyed myself so much up in North Yorkshire the other day that we're going back up again this weekend, and I'm going to be doing an overnight again, but in North Yorkshire this time. So hopefully I can find a really nice spot and have a bit of a nice trip, bit of a nice hike, and get sleep over somewhere new. A little bit of a concern though, because the weather is supposed to be pretty horrendous tomorrow night, and I will be out tomorrow night. So we'll have to see how that goes. There could be snow, there could be rain, there's certainly going to be lots of wind as another storm hits the country again. So I hope you all enjoyed. I hope this bit of information was useful for you. If it was, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and a like. If you want to see any more, consider a subscribe if you're not already. For those that have subscribed, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and it really helps the channel grow. Okay, so final segment of this episode is the weigh-in. So this week's a weekly weigh-in. My result so far this week is 1.3 kilos or 3 pounds. So my exact weight loss now is 3.43 stone or 21.8 kilos. So yeah, not bad at all. That's 9 weeks later. 21, nearly 22 kgs, nearly 3.5 stone lighter. Not bad at all. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. I hope to see you all on Saturday. Much love, and as always, have a beautiful day.